Hello, everyone. It is the last Thursday of the month. So, on the last Thursday of the month, we get on here to talk about marketing and all the updates going on. We have a blog post at Seymour Digital Media that will talk about everything from like the first of the month to the 24th. I am Pip, Seymour Digital Media, and this is Phelan, who's also from Seymour Digital Media. We know we've been inundated with AI, and now agents are coming out. So there is it's first to market kind of thing. I think ChatGPT just came out with their own agents. I actually was able to download all my data from ChatGPT. We moved over to Claude, mainly because I had a payment due. That was like, oh, no. We moved over from ChatGPT to Claude. If you're wondering, how do I get my information? You can actually, it's their legal obligation to get you your full download. So if you stopped paying and then you had your own little chats and your own little GPTs created for your clients, it's required that they send you the download, which then you can give to Manus or ChatGPT or wherever and upload it so you don't lose all your data when they close down your account. So I thought that was something very interesting. And Phelan, do you have any news before I get the blog post up?
Yeah, AI mode is coming to shopping as well as hotel campaign ads for PPC. So Google Ads has a mode that was called AI Max. It's had mixed results. I think you have to narrow it down much tighter than general PPC campaigns if you use that, because it'll go even crazier than a broad campaign, in my experience. You could find more interesting stuff in your search term report, but you're going to have to make sure that you strongly curtail it, because it'll go and try a lot of different stuff. And so just bear that in mind.
I saw someone I follow that does Google Ad stuff, and they've made a plugin for Claude, and their plugin is related to updating all the titles for Merchant Center. I thought that was very interesting. So it looks like people are making plugins and things. I don't know if you have to pay for those or what that looks like.
You shouldn't need to pay for them. In my experience, the biggest part is I've tried to set it up myself where it connects to our MCC account. And you could do it. It's still very technical to actually get it done. And I had a lot of trouble with it. You have to update like the preset file in Claude desktop.
Interesting.
Yeah, you have to edit it so that it accepts the API key so it can reach out to your MCC. So it's basically, you got to give it a little special password to then go talk to your ads account. But it's a real pain to go and set up.
You changed from ChatGPT to Claude. Yeah, I've been using Manus as well. So I use Claude and Manus. And the most interesting thing about it is I attended a 3-day webinar, the Tony Robbins one. And anyway, I took that information and I decided we let go of our team recently. And because we have about 10 clients, but I thought we could manage it on our own. 10 clients is a lot. And so what I've done is I've created an agent network. And that agent network does all the work for the agency with fail safes that I check everything. So it's pretty interesting. We've made 40 agents. They all do different things. Some can only read information. Others can get information approved. It's pretty exciting. And so every morning I get up, I got a ton of draft emails I have to go through. It helps me respond to all my clients. It helps me get client work done. I am not sold on who I should use, if it's ChatGPT, if it's Claude or Manus. I know Manus is getting the gears because they sold to Facebook and then China wants it back. We have a blog post. That's right. Just a couple things I wanted to make sure to bring up besides all the AI stuff that's happening that takes up most of our mind now. Got agents. I think people have less work in marketing than they used to. or that's what we're seeing. And we've seen some other agencies struggling. We've also seen some agencies doing really well. So it depends where you are and what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So Google Business Profile review policy update. Google has deployed Gemini enforcement tools to help with rating manipulation policy, which is really interesting. So staff can't give reviews or ask customers to mention specific employees' names in reviews. Actually, if you mention a name in a review besides the reviewer's name, because we get our names mentioned all the time, and then
Yeah.
get taken down. So that's very interesting. And it's basically what Google Business Profile is doing is they're automating things. And as we know, it is so hard to get your Google Business Profile verified now. If there's any extenuating circumstance, say your property is really far from the road, that's one we've had. And Yellow Pages actually owned the Google Business Profile. And when the people came to work with us, the Yellow Pages Google Business Profile got unverified. And so it's been over 6 months. Not surprised our clients wanted to leave in the end, but we have done a lot for them in the interim, trying to get them showing up on Google. But without the
Yeah.
Google Business Profile, it's hard.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult with that. It was one of those things that you definitely want to get verified, and it's annoying that Google has made it more difficult when I think that their old you get a postcard in the mail. I thought was a
Yeah.
really good method because it was pretty intuitive. Like you wouldn't receive the thing unless you were at the location. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Like someone's delivering mail to that location, and then you get it. That's about as straightforward an operation as you can get. And I
And
didn't get why they had to muck.
yeah, they stopped doing that completely, didn't they?
Yeah, it's not even an option that you can get anymore.
Mm, right. And so the biggest, who this affects most is probably multi-location brands, franchises, and services that previously relied on employee mentions, which is very interesting. So basically, stop all internal programs that tie employee bonuses to Google reviews or mentions, review signage or email templates that instruct customers to mention the person in the review, and train all staff about the new compliance rules. It is not good to get a review on location. You know how you can get those little QR codes or whatever? It is not good because Google thinks that you're giving bonuses or deals to people. So if you have an
Yeah.
on location scanner, maybe you have it outside the restaurant or coffee shop, and that's according to the Google official policy and verified by third parties. We also have consent mode in Google Ads. And starting June 15, Google Ads data collection will solely rely on ad storage consent signal. That's a big deal. Why it matters is a consent banner misconfiguration will get your ads and attribution and audience targeting. It'll all break. So there's no manual override, and technical accuracy to your consent setup is now a bigger factor in your ads accounts for data integrity. That's pretty interesting because you can set up your consent mode through Tag Manager, if I'm not correct, right?
There's it generally has to use a plugin to then relay that consent that's been done. So it can, I think there's a WordPress plugin that we use called Concentrics, and it just has little
Hey,
like,
Google, stop.
and it has like little like, do you accept, do you not? And then as soon as they do that, it sends a signal to Tag Manager to then go and deploy. You do need a second tool to go with it. And that's going to be really big for people that are in California or Quebec. Those are the two of the strictest places. So you definitely want to look at it if you're doing that. It's a bit of a hassle to set up, but once it's done, you don't really have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. And we know Google dynamic search ads are being upgraded to AI Max. They're called dynamic search at DSA are
Yeah.
automatically created assets at the campaign level. Broad match settings will automatically upgrade to AI Max for search starting September 2026. So it's voluntary upgrade. Tools are available now to look at that. So we'll be paying more and more attention to that. So basically, their dynamic search ads are now going into AI Max, which is a toggle you can turn on inside Google Ads. I haven't loved it. I think you have to utilize, I don't want to show up for all these brands and things like that to make it work, right? So
Yeah.
if you're doing dynamic search ads, which dynamic search ads are you put in a URL and Google will pull all the stuff. They have been good. We don't really use dynamic search ads, do we?
No, it's just in my experience, it's just not enough control for what I like for my Google ads. So I'm not really just turn it on and let it automate everything. I've had too many negative experiences with that I'm just not wanting to.
Okay, now we move into the ChatGPT news, which we know that ChatGPT launched 5.5 this month. Its most capable model yet. It's designed for agentic tasks, which means it can plan, use tools, navigate ambiguity, and complete complex multi-step workflows autonomously. That's pretty interesting. It matches the speed of ChatGPT 5.4. It uses fewer tokens than the 5.4. And then why it matters. This is good for marketing teams, right? I think that at some point, a lot of agencies are going to have lots of autonomous agents working with them to manage workflows, to get things out on time, to be more client centered versus task centered. So you'll be able to do both now, which I think is really interesting. The multi step workflows and deep competitor analysis and comprehensive SEO audits is a big deal. And this is why probably some of us has lost some work because people
Yeah.
are who isn't hearing things like ChatGPT did this for me. Like I think we have a client and they had somebody say they were writing something for them and they were said that they wanted to use the clone of themselves copy, but because it was being published in a magazine, you can't have AI content for some things, right? It goes against what you should
Uh,
be doing.
well, editorial guidelines. Usually
Yeah.
magazines are very specific about stuff that they want original content for, especially any sort of publication. And that kind of goes back to the internet's whole creation was based around a thing called Article 230, which
Mm.
is basically it distinguishes who's a publisher and who's a platform. So if I'm the forum where everyone comes and talks, I'm not responsible for it. Whereas a magazine is responsible because they publish things. And so they have it
Mm.
under their own guidelines. And so that's the distinction. And it's at the point that it's getting challenged a lot more. And Facebook's trying to remove Section 230. And it's mostly because they just don't want competition. They think they can take the hit legally, like they have enough money that they can fight off any competitors in court. And so they don't want anyone else to come behind them and challenge them.
And then we have Claude Opus updated to 4.7, which is for advanced software engineering, long context reasoning, and complex task execution. Alongside it, they launched Claude Design. For marketers building custom internal tools, analyzing metadata, massive databases, or generating technical content, Opus 4.7 is the most reliable model. And in addition to Claude Design, it gives teams the fastest way to prototype landing pages, visuals without leaving chat. That's so exciting. One of the things I learned this week was I think a lot of us have felt like, oh my God, I'm behind. Oh my God, I need to know. And you can't keep up. So if the way AI is moving, it's exponential. And as a human, you're not going to be able to keep up. So just keep that in mind and don't take on these whole, like, if you're not doing this now, you're missing out. Learn the way you can learn and try to integrate learning AI stuff into what you're doing. There's an important update with Meta and Manus. Manus was my favorite. And officially, Meta acquired AI, the autonomous agent. It's the one I've been using since the beginning. And I just kept pushing and pushing to see what it could do. It could do a lot. And Meta has already started to integrate Manus into its capabilities and its ecosystem and its ads, manager, Instagram, WhatsApp business, and creator tools. The only problem is the people that sold the company were Chinese. They're from
National.
China. They lived in China. They were living in Singapore. And the Chinese government has said no to the deal, even though it's gone through. And so we will see what's going on, what's going to happen. Now, I love Manus. It can do so much, but we'll see with either Mark Zuckerberg going to be paying out a lot more money or figuring it out. But we'll see, because it might go away. Who knows, right?
Yeah, it's really tough to say this exact. And just to be clear, it was a Chinese company, and so technically, like, China has the ability to go
So no
back and
sales.
review any deal because that's just part of their rights. It's like if you were based here, then that's part of it.
Which is funny that it wasn't like it got sold. Nobody made any comments.
I, it might also have been done without the consent of the Chinese government, right? So
That's
it's one
true.
of those type situations where they were basically asking for forgiveness rather than permission. Here,
Forgiven.
yeah, you don't get forgiveness. It's not, oh, they're already here. We'll just let it keep happening. They're like much more explicit about that part.
Right. If we're moving on to some social stuff, I have some news about Facebook. Facebook has rolled out strict rules for organic reach on Facebook. So the platform is explicitly prioritizing
Okay.
content filmed or produced directly by creators. They are also using a true interest survey, a full pop-up screen after Reels play. This matters because your page relies on posting videos. So it sounds like videos are getting more traction. So reaction videos with minimal editing, low contrast, your reach is going to go and tank. But Facebook's algorithm can now footprint video structure to find original source. So that's interesting. They're trying to avoid clickbait, it seems. I don't know. I've seen a lot of clickbait on Reels, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of slop, like AI slop, that's been on there, and I think they're trying to cut down on that, save themselves on the tokens, and try to get people to. I think they're trying to go down the avenue of using the AI stuff, and then people just didn't like it, so I think they're reversing course on that.
Interesting. Yes. AI slop is one of the newest terms. When something's AI, for the most part, unless it's super good. And I think we all scroll on by, right? I think if a creator is going to use AI to tell people that, hey, this is AI, is probably going to be better because then you're not surprising the user. And I think that's more reasonable.
Yeah, I think that people are fed up in a lot of ways. I think that people are just like not enjoying it as well, and I think it's been turning away a lot of people.
And now this is the only news I have about websites, which is WordPress, which is the main website we use. 7.0 was officially released April 9th. It's got peer-to-peer real-time collaboration, and multi-users can now edit the same post simultaneously. Remember when you used to log in and then somebody was writing and then you had to kick them out?
Yeah,
So that's all changing, right?
yeah.
So it changes with changes syncing live or similar to Google Docs, right? Complete colored cursor, inline notes. That's pretty cool. So this is going to make it better because there's no content lock when different people are working on something together, and it streamlines the review approval process. So that's really smart of WordPress. A lot of people were saying WordPress isn't keeping up. What is WordPress even doing? Because now you can build websites in so many different places. One of the major problems is updating the website and how you use
Yeah.
that, because you have to use something like First Cell, is that right? And GitHub.
Well, yeah, you basically the problem is that like with a lot of the new websites, is you're gonna have to reverse engineer a lot of issues from first principles. Meaning, oh, I need somewhere where I can edit the files that I need somewhere that I can do redirects, because these are all plugins that were just built in, or like functionality that was already in WordPress. It's just that the actual development on WordPress is stagnant because it's like a 20-year-old system. But it's like it's an, a, in terms of internet usage, 20 years ago is a long time where they're doing anything with code. And the problem is that they're stuck in a pattern where they can't change it too much, otherwise it'll break the internet. Because if they push a big, huge change, that might break a third of the internet. And so that's just a thing that they understandably don't want to be responsible for, but they also need to adapt and change. And the problem is, if you create a new system, you're having to create a whole community of tool sets and ways of doing things that you just hadn't thought about really how to do it, because there was always a plugin that could do it. And there was always
Yes.
some other way to connect something that was existing to it.
And so if you make a new website using, say, Manus, or I don't know if Claude can do it, but or like Lovable or Bolt, if you use any of those tools, you need a place, like saying you're going to sell a website, you need a place where the owner of the website, the business owner, can go in, change things they need. And business owners often get really frustrated if they have to go through an agency or a person to get updates. It can take longer than they want. There might be some misinformation on there. And so that is something I know people are grappling with.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about ChatGPT ads to logged out users, so advertising to people that are actually logged out. But that's early, it's not fully confirmed. There's no formal announcement. And then Google audio overviews in search. Oh my goodness. So Google was doing this. It's not rolled out everywhere. They're just testing it. But if you see it, check it out, take a screenshot. Love to see that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in marketing, and it is hard to stay up to date, but we do get on here every month to talk about all the things that we found really interesting that stood out. With all the changes, it is a fast growing market, and we're still waiting. We've heard from like Facebook that all ads will be automated. I can tell you with Manus, I've gone into Google Ads. I've done some things. I've made a retargeting campaign. I've been able to do a lot, but I'm also checking all the work and getting a client to check the work. But it's interesting to have an agent help me, right? Because I need the help. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our frequently asked questions, what is the Google Ads consent mode deadline? June 15th. Is asking customers to mention staff members' name in Google reviews really banned? Yes, it is. So don't mention names, especially if it's like a big company with lots of staff. And what is the difference between DSA and AI Max? DSA it's old, very old, and AI Max is new, and it incorporates features like automatically created assets at the campaign level and broad match into single unified systems. It's interesting. What is GPT 5.5 via API? Not as of yet. That's April 24th. GPT 5.5 is currently available to GPT Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise subscribers, right? And then the last one, which is a really good question. What does Agentic AI mean for marketers? Agentic AI means it's an AI model that can plan and execute multi-step tasks autonomously. So you can say, hey, go into Google Ads and do this thing. Hey, do SEO things. Hey, create me an image for this social post and then post it. If you have it set up correctly, it can probably do all of those things, and you can probably do it in a single prompt. If you have questions or want more answers, we do have this blog post. I will share it underneath the video. And that's it for us today. Yeah. I think Phelan's already in the throes of maybe trying to do more work. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to make sure this is shared on Facebook in our Facebook group, the Business Marketing Mixer. And we will see you the last Thursday of the month to go over our monthly marketing update. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're still live, so I got to end it finish.